Alright guys, and welcome back to Oceanic Gaming's Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle. We are into our first semi-final best of 3, and this is Noxious Gaming versus VGN.Giga. VGN standing for Veraxel Goes Nangs. And we are into Champion Select. So these teams both came through the round robin yesterday. I'll put the links into chat very shortly. And I am joined by my co-caster and crowd favorite, the People's Whisper. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey man, it's going good. I've woken up. I'm keen to watch some big games. I watched that last game on the stream. That was real exciting. Loving this Royal Chocobo. Ready to print it up all tournament. I hope he goes well in this next round. In the meantime, we've got another big game coming up with some really big names. Real excited for this one. How's it going? You looking forward to the good games?
Oh my god, yes. So best of 3s are definitely a lot different to both round robin and best of 1. In a best of 3, you get to feel out how the other team works. You can work out what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and you can set up your next game to counter them. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these teams adapt once they understand their opponents a little bit better, because that's definitely a new aspect of the game that we haven't seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely, and best of 3s also test how well the teams can win and lose together. It can be really hard, that mental game of losing a game and then trying to pick yourself back up and win the next two, but it is doable, so it tests the mental capabilities of the two teams coming up against each other as well. So best of 3s are always more exciting, and they generally give you the more fairer result. You would expect the better team to be able to win more games than less. It kind of removes the chance of the shock upset.
Yeah, or like a team using a cheese strategy, like 5 supports mid. Yeah, it's quite balanced. Alright, so
there's nothing wrong with cheese. Nothing wrong with cheese.
We saw some rapid fire bans. Twisted Fate, Vayne, and Vladimir being banned out by Noxious Gaming. Elise, Rise, and Cassidon being banned out by Veraxel Goes Nangs. And those are pretty standard bans. I'm surprised that so many mid laners were banned out by VGN with Rise and Cassidon. Those could be target, or those could just be champions that they don't feel like playing against. Because there are so many champions now, well over 100, and so few bans, it's probably best to just ban out things that you can't deal with, or would rather not deal with. So that's probably what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and I wonder if we're going to see an Orianna pick up later as well to go with that Zac. We've seen so popular that ball on top of that fling, just fling into the ball, into that shockwave, just sucking everyone in with that long gap close. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're thinking about running their mid, but we'll have to see. We have Zyra and Shen picked up so far. Shen always a good top laner with that split push. We even saw him in a shock jungle one game, so not surprised to see Shen picked up early, and Zyra always good in the disengage. However, we do have a Nami pick up, that's a surprise, and the Orianna. I did think that was what we were going to see. Orianna, Zac, such a strong combo, absolutely devastating. Really good work together with those two spells. So I'm not surprised to see these three champions picked actually.
No, and we saw this yesterday for Noxious Gaming as well. We saw the Zac and Orianna with, I think it was Giljai actually playing the Orianna and Inix Dust playing the Zac. And even though Noxious Gaming were behind for quite a considerable portion of the game, using that combo of the Zac Let's Bounce and the Orianna Command Shockwave, they were able to tear teamfights apart. So I'm liking that selection of picks so far for Team Noxious Gaming. However, on the other side,
they do have their Elise banned out this game, which was the top laner they choose last time they decided to run this combo. So we will see what they're deciding to run top now. That will be a bit of a change. We have Caitlyn locked in. That's definitely always a safe choice in that ADC department. You can't complain about Caitlyn. She can do it all. Always a solid safe pick. And then Anivia, so that's quite a cool pick. Haven't seen too many Anivias. She's always been floating around the pro scene a little bit here and there.
Yeah, and we've got Zyra being locked in. What do you think about that? Do you think Zyra's counter-engage with her Stranglethorns is enough to stop the Zac and Orianna from team fighting on top of their entire team? Do you think that ability is going to be enough heal for them?
Well, it is always good for the disengage, and if they have enough close range melee here, as you know I love the Zyra pick. I'm always a big Zyra fan, so I do think it's okay. I think it's aggressive to pick it this early. But if they're confident with the Zyra and that's who their support wants to play, there's nothing wrong with that. Nami's the more popular pick, and I do think Nami's ultimate disengage is more powerful at the moment. But I don't see anything wrong with the Zyra.
Nah, nothing at all. And alright, so we've got an Ashe as well with that long range Enchanted Crystal Arrow Initiate, and a Cannon is being locked in. So we're seeing one hell of a wombo combo teamfight team for Noxious Gaming. And I've got to say, I really like it.
Yeah, and they got that arrow for that long range initiate if they need it. Kanan is picked up because the Elise is banned. Kanan with his AoE is also a good to go with that wombo combo. So that should be quite a strong lineup they have here.
Yeah, most definitely. So Anivia is pretty good at peeling away from team fights with both her ultimate and her wall. So it should be interesting to see if Team VGN are able to maybe deny the team fight that Noxious Gaming wants to start, because it is so strong at the moment. We've actually got an Eve being soft locked. Eve is a really good counter to this because Shen and Eve can go. Eve can go invisible, and Shen can ult on top of her, and they can pretty much do a surprise ambush gank. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was locked in. But
yeah,
nope.
Shen Eve has been a common combo for a while now, and it is extremely powerful for that surprise ambush gank. And but it's not. They're looking at not going for the Eve. They've gone off it. Dancing around in the hero choice now. I was really looking forward to an Eve. Eve is a hero I love to see played. I find it so interesting, the sneaky ways you got to do things. But it is going to be a Java lock-in with that J4. And J4 has obvious synergy with Anivia. I'm sure you can work that one out. But how do you feel about that pick?
I think I do like the J4. It will lock up the Ashe. Ashe doesn't have an inherent escape. However, J4 has a couple of different ways to lock the Ashe up, both with his Demacian Standard into Dragon Strike as well as the Cataclysm. So he's definitely going to keep this Ashe locked down, and I think that is going to be his #1 target. He also can potentially lock the Kennen down as well. If Kennen doesn't have Flash to get away from it, he can't Lightning Rush in and use that Slicing Maelstrom. So J4 is a pretty good pick if he uses that Cataclysm correctly.
The thing is, we saw last time the Noxus ran this lineup. The other team also went for a bit of a wombo combo team, but the Orianna Zac just proved to be too strong. So I wonder if we're going to see this again. They have that Shen that does open up that split push potential. I think it's important to have split push champions versus a lineup like this, because we saw last time just going wombo versus wombo it can end really badly. That Orianna ult is so powerful, and it can be so deadly. I think they'll be happy they have that split push option. Except they don't seem to be running teleport on the Shen. They're going for the ignite. How do you feel about that?
I feel like he probably wants a little bit of kill potential. I think maybe you thought that it would be... Oh, no, I take that back completely. It's definitely going to be Kennen in the top lane. So Kennen is a little bit more squishy. It could have been a Zac potentially, and I don't think he would have had any kill potential in a Zac top lane at all. But on top of a Kennen, he can use his taunt to go in, get a couple of Vorpal strikes off, and maybe ignite for the kill. So he wants to be a threat. He doesn't want to be that huge tank and nothing else. Ignite definitely adds the kind of damage that he needs to get in there and get messy and do all those things that Shen loves to do. So I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah, Shen's always a safe pick. You can't go wrong with Shen, man. He's such a deadly hero. So useful as well, just to be able to ult in, put on that shield, global present. You gotta love it. Support Sire of Ignite Call coming out. The aggressive support. I do like it. They will lack the exhaust. But do they really need it? Is Ashe gonna stick out enough damage? Do you think they're alright running Ignite? I always love to do it when playing support. That's a bit more of a greedy preference than a smart preference, I'd say.
Yeah, honestly, looking at the blue team, looking at Noxious Gaming, who would you exhaust in a team fight? I mean, you could exhaust any one of them, but it wouldn't be as effective. I feel like Ashe is just going to be kind of kiting away with that arrows and her volleys. I feel like Ignite is probably the better decision here. Just for sure, actually. So I'm liking that pickup.
Yeah, I'm sure if it was something more like a Vayne or a Twitch, they might consider running that exhaust for sure. But against an Ashe, I can see the idea of just skipping that, going for the Ignite, having a bit more kill potential, having a bit more fun as well in that support lane.
Yeah, just having an Ignite as a support is just such a good feeling, knowing that if you lock them up and they're gonna get away, you can cast that Ignite and it's just kill secured. It's a good feeling.
Kill secured for sure. Gotta love Ignite on support. The old Thresh Prince was really popular with doing that in competitive plays. Back in his gaming days with Edward, he used to run Ignite on his supports, and no one's going to go claiming he's a bad support player.
No, not at all.
So it definitely can be done, and done correctly.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see any heals this tournament. That's actually been a popular spell picked up. Considering that so few people do run that Ignite, you can run someone a heal, and that is so good to bait people into. Heal being very different from Barrier is just a temporary shield, but whereas Heal actually brings your HP up, so it can bait out things like, you know, executes and all sorts of abilities that are based around HP percentage damage. Heal is just a very clever summoner spell, and I want to see the resurgence of Heal. And I want to
see Heal sneak back into the meta. Is that what you're trying to say?
I do.
I want to see the Heal barrier lanes bot just causing trouble. Bring back Heal and exhaust.
So much
Heal and
potential. if you have both barrier and heal, the plays that you can make, my friend.
I mean, why would you need flash if you can just heal and shield yourself?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Alright, well, we're not going to see healed being brought back this game, unfortunately, but hopefully we see some interesting plays be done. I'm excited to see this mid to late game with this wombo combo. It is so scary, the Zac. I can't press that point enough. They need to be so careful to watch out for that initiate. With the arrow as well, they've got such an ability to just set up a really good fight, I feel. But I want to see what happens. I really hope this Anivia gets big too. Anivia is such a crazy hero. Pretty confident pick, but definitely able to work. Can definitely spit out a lot of damage and cause heaps of trouble with those ice walls, so I'm keen to see it.
Yeah, you're completely correct. We are seeing a lot of skins coming out. Jibbers is actually letting his team down. Adam afterwards and buy him a skin, for God's sake. 4
Jibbers,
skins
mate.
for VGN. Sheriff Caitlyn, Wildfire Zyra, Black Frost and Nivea, which is hella good, and TPA Shin. But regular skin Jarvan, come on, man. Adam, and tell him what you think about that.
That's not okay with me. Where's the skins at? If you do have your TPA Shin that you do like, you're going to hear that nice noise of plastic hitting someone. And I do like special weapon Zac, just makes the hero a little bit more interesting. No skin on Nami either, but I don't know if Nami has any cool skins, let's be honest.
Koi skin, Koi Nami, her auto attack animation is fantastic.
Oh, what does it change
has
to?
new particle effects, and it looks very, very cool.
Alright, well, looking at you, lazy giant, gotta upgrade that skin, mate. Gotta get that Queen Army.
Yeah, man. Alright, so we're seeing both teams set up for a level 1 of some description. The standard has been to run around your opponent's jungle, put down some tactical wards so that you can work out where the jungler is starting and where he's going to. And after you've done those wards, you can leave their jungle and just continue doing your buffs like normal. And I think that's what we're going to see this game. Nami, however, has already put down 3 wards in her own jungle. This is absolutely astounding.
They obviously don't want to be surprised at all. They want to know what's coming and they want to make sure they secure these buffs. So we've seen actually quite a popularity in warding really early on. It's just because of these late invades that are so popular with this 155 creep spawns globally. Everyone just able to sneak in and really punish the junglers. So people really want to know what's going on. They don't want to get hurt early, don't want to be put in a disadvantage.
Yeah, most definitely. Alright, so all of VGN are actually sitting on a ward, and Zac on NX Dust could spec his holistic slingshot, and oh my god, we are going to see a level 1 here. Actually, VGN are peeling away. The bubble is good onto the Zyra though. He's not using his flash because it's probably not worth using it at this point in the game. And that is first blood. Actually going to the AD carry. Ashe does pick that up. She's going to be pretty happy with herself. And
yeah, and that's why we saw those early wards, and they have paid off. They had vision there, and they waited. They waited for Shin to go back top, because they thought they were safe, and he wanted to get to lane in time, so they were going into the 5v4, and then they throw it out. They catch one alone. They catch Zyra alone in that bubble, and at that point, it's first blood. And it goes to Ashe, as you said. That's probably the best case scenario. They want to get Ashe to go in quick, win that bot lane, so that's really good, and I'll be happy with that. And that just shows warding can be really successful in these aggressive early plays.
And Nami, she did spend 3 wards worth of gold. Two 3-minute wards and 1 Explorer ward, but it ended up in that first blood, so I'm going to have to say it was worth it. I'm so surprised at how aggressively she did ward her own jungle, and VGN will learn a very hard lesson for the next game to be very, very wary about where they set up in the jungle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if that's going to shock them next game, and they're going to decide to go for a more defensive start, or if they're going to go for it again and invade once more and try and make it work. So it'll be interesting to see next game. In the meantime, we just have both lanes, all lanes just farming it up. The jungles are just creeping. Jarvan's rotating his way to the top. He's got the double buff, and I don't believe Kenan knows at the moment.
Kenan doesn't have a ward.
He is being careful though. He is got a good position. He knows to stand back, but he's tempted. He's going to go in for these last hits soon, and that's what Jarvan's waiting for. He's waiting for him to just get out of position, then he's going to jump in there and try ruin this Kenan, give the Shin the start, but he knows he's not got an opportunity. Kenan's played too safe, and he doesn't know if Kenan has vision of him. But he's running back forward. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's all over. Patient jungling, but it can be strong if they get this gang. He's going in now. He's running up to try to get this gang. He is going to go through him with the lightning. Unfortunate. Really close. He wanted that knockup, but Kenan's going to be alright there.
Nicely played by Jasmine Tealeaf, just lightning rushing away, so he didn't use flash, and Jarvan wasted a lot of time there. So while Jarvan has 6 CS from the jungle, and he spent a lot of time waiting top lane for an opportunity, Zac has 15, so he's going to be pretty happy with himself around about that one. And meanwhile, when Ashe did get that first blood, she recalled for a longsword and an HP pot, so she's already like on her way to winning this lane, as she does win normal auto-attacking trades with that extra bonus AD. So pretty happy with himself. Noxious Gaming off to a good start, I'd say.
Yeah, it's still really close though, 700 gold, just 1 kill, so it's still really open.
Oh, most definitely. First blood does secure Ashe's admittedly weak early game, in my opinion. So,
especially against Nami Caitlyn. I mean, no, it's Zyra Caitlyn. Caitlyn always scary with those headshots, can do a good harass in lane, so she wants to be careful there, but any advantage she can get, she can do it, and she can pull this lane away if she keeps going well with the Nami, so that's interesting to see.
Most definitely. I feel like Ashe and Ashe and Nami have a very high amount of peel potential. So if you're trying to chase an Ashe anywhere, you're gonna have to go through ice arrows and Nami's bubbles and Nami's tidal waves, and it's going to be a horrible, horrible time trying to chase.
And not just that, Nami's passive to increase movement speed every time she casts the spell on the Caitlyn, on the Ashe, will help her movement speed so she can kite more efficiently as well. So the two heroes work really well in that sense.
Yeah, most definitely. So this Shen and this Kennen in the top lane, I feel like it's a fairly even farm lane. They're very even in CS. They're not harassing each other too much, but when they do, Shen uses his shield to mitigate the damage, and it looks like to me Kennen is sitting on, just gonna double check for you. He's not running lifesteal or spellbound, so I take that back. He doesn't have self-sustain. Anivia just CSing happily in the mid lane. Orianna has backed off to do a Wraith camp. So it's fairly standard at the moment. I don't feel like there's gonna be too much action without outside influence. Pre-level 6 at least. It's going to be really dependent on these jungle ganks. I don't feel like the laners are willing to make the huge play, potentially, you know, putting themselves in a bad position to try and make something happen. Quite a nice trade happening in the top lane. Both Shen and Kennen doing some damage to one another. I think Shen has more inherent sustain, however, so he's going to be alright.
And if you see, you've got like 3 people holding wards up in purple teams. So they really want this map control and they want the map vision. All of them warding really efficiently, but they're all in their items, so they need to go put them out in the map so they can actually use the wards efficiently. But it's just good to see the whole team warding, all really respecting how much vision can give for you.
Most definitely. So Caitlyn has been having a hard time in the spot lane, constantly eating volleys from this Ashe. However, the CS is 47 to 44, so she's not suffering by any means necessary. So well played by Hihi to keep himself in this hard lane after that first blood was given to the Ashe. Perkle's Zyra has been doing well as well, just offering some roots, some plants to try freeze the lane instead of continually dumping into the turret. AD carries do have a harder time CSing under turret, even though they do take the correct runes and masteries to do so. Which is, if anyone is interested, taking 1 AD Quint and taking 2 points in Butcher means that you can happily last hit under the turret, as well as having 4% lifesteal to sustain in lane. So, just a tip for any aspiring AD carries out there. That's how the LCS players do it, that's how the OGN players do it, and that's how these players are doing it as well.
Yeah, and it's actually quite surprising how much that just 4% lifesteal can really help you out in those early stages of the game, just keeping up. Even if you start with Dorans or anything, just to give you that extra bit of sustain, it's actually really worth the two quints. I've just recently changed and really enjoyed it myself, so that's a really good point you brought up.
Yeah, thank you, man. Alright, so Shen is definitely looking a lot healthier than this Kennen in the top lane. His Stand United has been leveled up, so he does have that global influence on the map. Whether or not something happens and he's forced to use it is very dependent on the Zac. He's been quite content to run around the map and get his level 6 now. He's done his buff rotation. He just has this blue buff, which is most likely going to be past the Orianna, and then we'll see if he makes something happen with his Let's Bounce that has been recently spec'd. But Raxel's Anivia has reached level 6. Now that he does have that Glacial Storm, he can wave clear so well. Orianna doesn't have the same level of wave clear as Anivia. It's a little bit slower. She will be able to kill the entire wave before it gets dumped into the turret, but Anivia definitely has the advantage, especially while he has this little window where he has blue buff and Orianna does not. So, Zac is actually, Jarvan is actually diving Kennen in the top lane. Slicing Maelstrom comes out and stuns both players. Ignite is enough to pick up that Kennen. We were wondering about whether that Ignite summoner spell was going to be the right decision, and apparently it was. Well played.
Yeah, it's good to see it working out. I love to see the Ignite pick up. Way more fun to play, that's for sure. And this Nami's slowing the attacks, putting harass out on the Caitlyn. And Caitlyn's actually getting a bit hurt here. She's going to be hit by the tidal wave and the arrow. She's going to bury her, but she's going to be bubbled. She jumps back, but she's still stunned. Shen's going to now TP in with his ult, saving her life. But good initiate. Here comes the assassinate, just to do a little bit of damage. And the stun comes up too. Just playing with it though, giving a bit of harassment. Caitlyn though, saved by the Shen. Really good ult. And here comes Anivia trying to kill her too.
Wow.
It does come down. Ash goes down to the Anivia. Good rotation by the mid lane there.
Well played. Veraxo comes around, gets a nice Glacial Storm into Frostbite, into Flash Frost, and that is one dead Ashe. And Summoner spells were burned for both AD carry and support in the bot lane. So for the next 4 or 5 minutes, they are much more vulnerable to ganks.
Yep, and they're going to get the dragon. That's the always good thing about Shen teleporting down bot. Once he makes the play like that, he saved the Ashe, helped turn around for the kill. He's then got that bot presence to quickly get that dragon. So they're going to try to do that. Only Nami's there to contest. But Orianna and Zac are coming down. So they are going to back off that dragon. So they saved that dragon. That's really good. And jungle Jarvan's come to safe top, which is also really good. Nice rotation coming out of the purple team.
Yeah, VGN looking very secure in themselves at the moment. They picked up kill there. They didn't get the dragon, but I think it was the wise decision to back off. I think Zac could have really punished them. Zac actually charging up his elastic slingshot, getting some damage onto this Anivia. Anivia trades it back though with a vengeance. That is one scary bird, and I'm really liking this legendary skin as well. Black Frost Anivia, new particle effects. So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, definitely good. They invested a lot to go down bot, but with the Jarvan holding top, they didn't lose top tower. So it was really worth the investment. Like they had to bring a bot. Nivea did smart to come down, add to that extra damage. They needed to pick up the kill. They could have got the dragon, but they were smart to back off. It could have gone really wrong. They don't want to lose it. They don't want to throw away any advantage they may have just picked up on that second kill. Even though they are actually down 200 gold, that can quickly change.
Yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about the pink ward coverage that Purple has got in this bot lane. Are you seeing what I am seeing? There are 3 pink wards in every single aggressive brush in this lane. So, wow, this is a gold mine if someone had an Oracles. That's so well covered by Purple on Zyra. So they're obviously setting up. Jarvan hasn't used his Cataclysm just yet, even though he is level 7. So he could come down bot in this next 4 or 5 minute window while Ashe and Nami don't have flash and try and make something happen. Nami, however, just pink warded the brush, and Zac is going to come in over the wall as well. Does the elastic slingshot, and Stranglethorns does come down, and this looks like one dead Zyra.
Yeah, and the arrow's coming in as well too, so Ashe is going to put damage on, but those plants really deceive us by... Oh, they're going to block the ult, they are going to do it, but those plants actually do a lot of damage by Zyra. You can't ignore them. If they just stay there attacking you, they will hit you down. So that's what happened there, so they did have to disengage off that gate, but really well to just pick up that kill there. If they keep sneaking out kills here and there, getting them on the carries can be really strong. Ashe has got a kill, Zac's got a kill, so they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, most definitely. Meanwhile, while that was happening, Jarvan and Shen actually dived Kennen under the turret in the top lane. So they picked up the kill on Kennen, and Shen's getting a free lane for a little bit, so he's not pressuring the turret currently, but he's definitely getting some damage down. It should be interesting to note that Shen has actually picked up a Phage first item. That's not something I've seen in a very long time. It could actually be a Trinity Force Shen we're seeing, and I'd really like to see that as well.
Trinity Force Shen, it would be a first for me to see. It would be really good. The thing they got to worry about, this is exactly what happened last time, is they left the Orianna farming. Orianna can farm so efficiently in this mid lane, and though also Anivia is getting a lot of farm, if this Orianna gets really big again, that Shockwave ultimate will just do too much damage with that Zac. I feel like they might want to put some more attention onto controlling that mid lane at the moment, but at the moment it seems all the focus is on this bot lane. They really don't want their Caitlyn to try pick up and get big.
Yeah, you're completely correct. Just talking about this Orianna a little bit more. She's picked up a Fiendish Codex, but what we should really be talking about is the fact she's picked up a Tear. So she's definitely aiming for this late game. She does want that Seraph's Embrace, just to get that shield out, give herself a little bit more survivability. She wants to never run out of mana as well, is what I'm seeing from her build so far. So that's a pretty good pickup. It means she scales a little bit better into late game as well.
Yeah, well, she's definitely a really mana-dependent hero with that ultimate that you just want to leave out there doing as much damage as you can. So it's no surprise to see the tears pick up there. She's also got the blue buff, so she's sitting pretty. Jarvan, however, is trying to make a little move around mid, but is just going to have to back off. Cannot find that Orianna.
Yeah, most definitely. So Ashe and Nami are actually pressuring this Caitlyn very well. Caitlyn is sitting on quite a bit of gold at the moment, 1,300. She hasn't actually backed after all that action that happened in the bot lane. So she's sitting on a gold lead, but she hasn't cashed it in yet, so it might as well.
And we're going to see a fight amid
mid.
Shockwaves misses. A good flash coming out from Anivia, but Zach is going to keep chasing. She's going to put out an ult to try, put on some damage and turn them around. Jarvan's on the chase too. Anivia's low and hasn't got much mana, but I do believe she has an egg, so she will be alright. But they're just going to back off anyway. They're not going to go for that arrow just coming through, missing everyone, unfortunately. Good attempt though by Ash, showing good map awareness to still have the focus of the other lanes while she's still trying to last hit and farm. So well done by her. Unfortunately, just missing
that kill on Orianna, yeah. So Orianna was just gifted blue buff by Zach. Nice jungler to do that, of course. And Anivia is going to back off. Actually, as I say that, she cancels the recall. Anivia actually sitting on 1,400 gold. So I feel like she needs a little bit more if she wants to get something like a Rod of Ages. And it looks like
she can definitely just pick up this creep wave for free with no harassment. So not a bad idea. And Shen actually goes around killing that Keenan. So Keenan having a hard time now. Been picked out twice by those Jarvan Shen ganks.
Yeah, most definitely. So Shen and Jarvan have really just been camping this top lane. They've set up a Doran's tent and they're being really, really annoying. I'm sure this Kennen is unhappy at the moment with how this game is going. And Shen is actually 3-0-1, has all the components so far that it's definitely going to be building into a Trinity Force. So we are going to witness a Trinity Force Shen, and I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe it's a carry Shen, we can't judge it because he is 3-0, so it's definitely working out for him. Maybe that Elise ban, that target Elise, taking that off Jasmine Ice-T really affects Neoxys. Maybe that's his more comfortable hero because he's usually ripping up that top lane with Elise, but it seems as Keenan versus Shen isn't really working out, and the Shen actually going to just get a really quick Triforce. Yeah,
I'm so impressed with how the Shen has been bullying down this Kennen. This isn't really a counter lane either. Shen has just been played incredibly well. Jarvan,
and we're going to see Caitlyn jumped on here in the bot lane. It's Nami and Zach going, and Nami dropping all his spells, including her ult. The exhaust is out too. The arrow is going to hit. So Caitlyn's in trouble. She is going to go down here to Dust. Dust going to be careful though. Doesn't want to give a free, just pop his passive to the Zyra. So he's just going to back off there, but a great little pick there. Ash wasn't in lane, so she was feeling confident versus the support. And then the fling in, the throw in, the tidal wave and the bubble, then followed up by the arrow, enough to take out the ADC. So really well organized there.
Yeah, really well played. So the turret did go down in top wave to Kennen, and that is the first turret of the game as well. And I'm so surprised that happened, considering that Shen has been bullying this Kennen. He has completed that Trinity Force as well, and is going after this Kennen with a vengeance. If he lands a taunt, I feel like he could secure the kill. The taunt is up now, but Lightning Rush is as well, so he's going to walk away. Well played. So I'm surprised that that tower did go to Kennen, but it's good of him to pick that up when he is behind. Adds a gold lead to his team. It does add a gold lead to his team, as well as it secures some extra gold for himself and gives himself some more peace of mind.
But he's annoying the carry Shen. That Triforce Shen is getting on his nerves. Will Shen come and give him revenge? I believe he will, but we've got to wait and see. He won't like him losing his tower. He'll have a point to prove. So it's interesting to see. I'm loving this Shen, by the way. How great is that? Triforce Shen up top. This is OCG meta, man. This is the Oceanic way of playing. We don't have tanks. We have carries. Every lane carries.
Yeah, we're not going to see a tank, Shen. Not any of that nonsense. Trinity Force.
Why tank when you can kill my friends? That's what Shen's thinking. And we're going to see Dragon go here. Kate might be able to try and steal it. Try and steal it, but she's not going to get that volley off at the right time. And Dragon will now go to the purple team. VGN will be very happy with that. They tried to get that Dragon earlier and were forced out of it, but all the global gold they can get definitely going to help, especially while the score is so close. Just 400 gold separating these two teams. There's one tower down.
Yeah, I'm just so incredibly impressed with how VGN brought this back. I felt like they were having a hard time in the bot lane versus Ashe that did get Burst Blood, and Enchanted Crystal arrow ganks with the Zac elastic slingshots have been so effective, but they are definitely in this game. Even though the Caitlyn is 0-1 and the Zyra is 0-2, the farm is very, very consistent, and the gold is definitely very even. So NX has been playing a good game in regards to towers. It looks like this bot turret is going to go down to them as well. So the second third of the game in favor of Noxious Gaming. And we're seeing the gold 25k to 24k, so about 1,000 difference between the teams.
And there we go, here's that Shockwave Zac in mid. He jumped in with the fling, get the Shockwave. Shen's going to go up and save Anivia. Really good Shen ult, keeping Anivia up a bit longer. Shen comes in with the taunt. It's going to actually take out the Keenan. So really well played, good Shen ult, but now Zac's going to run. He's getting ulted. He is going to just survive from that Caitlyn. They're going to pull out there. The ace in the hole, not enough. But losing one, really good Shen ult, going 1 for 1. Nice save. Anivia getting low. That Shen really proven off. Even though he's got his damage items, his ult is still super effective in the save. And wow, what a bubble tidal wave by Nami, putting he in a lot of trouble. Caitlyn's going to want to back out there. Nami, really strong support at the moment, that's why.
Yeah, I'm just that Shen came in over the top with a Stand United, and that damage coming out from the Trinity Force, that's immense. I am so surprised that he can do that much burst. I'm really liking the build though, and I'm so curious to see what items he gets next. So yep, this is Oceanic meta, and I'm loving it.
Well, the thing is, it's really hard for them to take out this mid Anivia. He's got his passive, and he's also got that Shen protecting him. They really went hard on Anivia, and she went quite low, but then all of a sudden, all that protection came in, and she was fine. They're going to get her another blue buff now. She's going to be happy, and Varek's still playing a really good game, I believe.
He is indeed. Even though the farm is a little bit more in Oriana's court, he's definitely had huge impact on the game. He's been clearing waves very effectively. Now that he's finished his Rod of Ages, he's got a little bit more AP and a little bit more mana, so he's going to be quite happy with that. There's actually 3 members of Noxious Gaming, and a 4th coming up the mid lane as well, and it looks like this mid turret might actually go down. The third
the mid tower is
game.
definitely going to go down here, and that's the third, yeah, 3 turrets to 0. That really opens the map up for them now. They have a lot more room to roam, they can control their jungle, and here comes that shockwave, another really good one landing on Varex. And the fling coming in afterwards, Zara's going to disengage, but it's not going to do enough. Jay falls in trouble too, he's going to drop down. It's going to be 2-0 at the moment, and that's Zara's shockwave, so strong. Not Zara's shockwave, you know what I mean, Oriana's shockwave. Really, really powerful.
And that is another turret being sieged. This is 3 turrets to 1, and it looks like Noxious Gaming are going to secure the 4th turret as well. So well
that's
played.
A tier 2 tower down. That wombo is just so strong. Shockwave is the really, really powerful move. Put a Zac on top of that too. He can just fling in a long range initiate with an arrow. Really good team comp coming out here, and I think this is what they mainly go for. They really want that Zac and that Ori, the core heroes in that team. The rest can be built around, and if they get those 2, I think Neoxys is really happy.
Yeah. So that was 4 turrets to 1, and Noxious Gaming just really proving like how to use your small advantages and just snowball. You hear that term so often in League of Legends, but it really is a momentum game. Once you pick up a little bit of an advantage, you can use it to gain a bigger and bigger advantage, and we're seeing that right here with Noxious Gaming picking up a couple of kills and snowballing 2 turrets off the back of it. So well played by Noxious Gaming, and VGN.
And here goes that Zac again, coming right in on that Caitlyn. Let's bounce coming up, but not by tidal wave. The shockwave does miss. Shen coming in with the ults. They are going to be right. They're going to try to turn it around. Jarvan running in. The stun comes out, hits the Nami, but they are on the tower now. Here comes the ace in the hole, just blocked by Zac. He's fine with that. Good Shen ult, really defensive play. Caitlyn was saved, but once again, I don't feel like she should have been there. She shouldn't have been getting hit by this Zac. They need to be more careful. Their carry cannot get initiated on like that. If that shockwave had hit, it could have been another fight once again.
Yeah, so Zac making so many opportunities for his team, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses in the mid lane. They're going to be pretty unhappy with that. Nice.
And they're going to go on that. Kanan having to use his invulnerability. Zonya is going to go down though. Only can stall himself a little bit of time. Ash bring a little damage to the Jarvan, but they're going to have to back up. Raxel spitting out that damage of it. Oh, going to hit the stun as well on the Ash. So the Ash is going to run through it, tanking like a boss. That's how she does it. Volley just coming out, trying to slow. They're going to back out. Zara's going to disengage. Here comes Shen with the taunt. Taunt hits. Oriana's in trouble here. She is going to go down. It's the Caitlyn on the right clicks. Zac's going to jump out of there. The bubble goes up, saving them some time. They're just going to disengage here, but here we go. Now it's time to see some kill potential come out of VGN.
Yeah, so well played by VGN. They need to make these plays, and they are making these plays. The Shen flash taunt on 2 people secured a kill on that Oriana, and that was a 2-for-1 in favor of VGN, and they pick up another turret because of it. Really well
played. This is what they need to do. They need to start taking these towers and bring that, even up the score, even up the tower game. Get their map open. They need to break down these towers. That's what they're doing. That's going really well. And this Shen is playing a really good game. His ults keep landing on the perfect people. He's 4-0-2, got that Triforce, nearly got his Flame Gape up, Sunfire Gape. He's looking really confident, and these ults, they're always on the right targets and always at really good times. So I'm thinking Shen's playing an amazing game and really keeping them in it.
He's definitely my MVP so far. I think he would have been my MVP if he bought that Trinity Force and didn't do well. That is such a cool item to build on Shen. Mad amount of respect for him for getting that. So
yeah, and he's got it, and he's managed to use it to snowball himself up and then get those tanky split-pushing items that he wants as well. So he's made it work really well for him.
Yeah. Jarvan has actually finished his Aegis, and that is a huge bonus to his team. There's so much AP magic damage coming out from Team Noxious Gaming. Nami, all her abilities scale from AP. Zac has AP scaling as well, so does Oriana, and so does Kennen. Ashe also has AP damage on her Enchanted Crystal Arrow, so that Bulwark, when it is eventually completed, is going to mitigate so much damage. And we're seeing some catches here in the mid lane.
Yeah, Tidal Wave's going to come out, but Nami is going to get picked for it. We see Keenan going right in the back, going on the Caitlyn, dropping his... Zonya's just zoning Caitlyn out the game. Now he's going to come in the back. He does die, but he kept Caitlyn out that fight for so long. It almost didn't work, but the shutdown does go down on this shit as well, so he gets rewarded with 500 gold for it. But I felt like that was good. 3 for 2. Keenan actually just going straight in the back line, keeping Caitlyn right out of the fight, so she could fight and eventually killing Keenan, but he actually stopped Caitlyn pumping out the damage on who she needed to focus. So I felt like that was well played by him, ending up giving him the 2 for 3, only losing the support and the Keenan, and taking out some key heroes, getting that shutdown gold on that Shen.
And we're actually seeing a backdoor here from Noxious Gaming. They're using the Orianna ball on the Zac, who is already very tanky, to get some damage onto this turret. Lots of pings going down from VGN to try come and counter this, but that was 700 damage put on that turret for absolutely free. Zac is just going to go back and regen, so good pickup by them. Just getting that damage, putting more pressure on these hard objectives, so well played. Anivia is now picking up her blue buff. Is about to run out of mana though, so it's pretty good that she is picking that up. And she has picked up a needlessly large rod. I'm wondering what item she's going to get out of that. It could be a Rabadon's, could be a Zonya's. Very rarely are we going to see a DFG on Anivia. So it looks like she's picking up a Blasting Wand.
Yeah, it is going to be go. I believe it is going to be the Def Cap. She's got the Blasting Wand as well. That's the pretty standard pickup though. She just wants to crank that 8B, do a whole lot of damage. She's been playing a really good game. Those ultimates can do so much if she can just pump that damage out. But that's Zac now. He's now the 404. There's just shutdown available for whoever kills him. But killing Zac is never an easy task.
Yeah, 432 gold bounty on his head. That is a very respectable pickup for whoever gets that kill. However, his cell division is up. He is going to be one hard flubber to kill. And it looks like Noxious Gaming are pressuring in on this mid lane. Pings are going down and all 5 people are rotating. Caitlyn was split pushing bot in the meanwhile, but she's not there to stop this siege. And Noxious Gaming are very aggressively posturing.
And there comes that arrow initiate, and it's going to follow up. They're going to try and get the shockwave. They do manage to do so. Let's Bounce coming up. Anivia taking a lot of damage. She's going to get bubbled as well, but can they get it down? They're deep below the tower. They're going to have to back out there. Tower doing too much. Jasmine's healing getting quite deep up. The Zonya's runs out, but managing to pull out. They had the initiate, but they just can't fight on that top ground yet, that high ground. They may want to start thinking about trying to get the other 2 towers, or maybe look at some objectives, because I feel like just pushing up into that high ground at this moment is not going to be as easy as they think it will be.
Yeah, most definitely. Caitlyn now doing the Wraith Camp. I think that was a really good play by VGN. Thank God that Veraxels and Anivia did have that egg passive up. Otherwise, that would have been one dead Anivia. Such a nice dive coming out from Team Noxious Gaming. Zac, Elastic Slingshot into Orianna ult, into Nami Tidal Wave. All started by a very nice Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Very well played.
Yeah, and she still has that egg form because she hasn't gone down. So 2 heroes have the passive ability to revive in this match, and both of them are up. So that could be a big part if we see a massive 5-on-5 engage when those heroes die, and if they can respawn, or if the other teams can counter it, because you can kill the egg and you can kill the little flubber slobs. So it can really be game breaking, that passive.
It really can be. Both Cell Division and Anivia's egg passive. I'm just gonna check the name of it. Just so effective. It's called Rebirth. And it's cool that there's 2 of these kind of abilities, the Resurrects in the game. It makes for some interesting play. Zac actually jumping on top of Shen in this top lane, getting some nice damage up. That is one tanky Shen though. He has finished his Sunfire Gate, has finished his Mercury Treads. So he is building more tank items now that he's completed his damage portion of his build.
Yeah, we're not seeing him go all in damage, picking up something crazy like an Infinity Edge going for the crits. That would have been great to see, but no, he is playing a Shen. He does know it. He had fun getting the Triforce, but he is going to commit and tank up a bit for his team, which is a wise decision. Shen does need the tank. If he's going to taunt in, he wants to be able to handle it.
Does indeed. Pinks are now going down on Baron. Noxious Gaming has started it. They have got a couple of wards in the Baron pit though. Nami has an Oracle if she wants to clear it. Taking quite a bit of damage from this Baron though.
Yeah, I do love a sneaky Baron, but the other team was far too close. They didn't realize they were all in the jungle. Once the wards came down, they realized this may not be the best time to do this, and they did back off. So that's a good decision. Always good to try sneak that Baron too. If you can get a free one, it's always a massive advantage.
Yeah, they were trying for the sneaky Baron. Unfortunately, VGN weren't going to let that slide past them. And Shen's now recalling. He'll start the split push again, I feel, once his Stand United has come off cooldown. He's got 13 more seconds until that happens. And then we'll see the split push continue. He's actually picked up a Kindle gem, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Spirit Visage as his next item. Very standard. He'll be one very tanky Shin after he has completed that MR item, considering how much magic damage is coming out of Noxious Gaming.
Yep, and seeing Noxious Gaming run this lineup before, it actually does feel like VGN in the last 10 minutes have been playing really wisely through it. Their Shen has been really good on the defense, and they're stopping those core heroes get blown up before the actual team fights start. And they're trying to be able to survive that shockwave, so I think they're playing well. They're positioning themselves smart as a team, and they're stalling it out. If they get late enough, they'll have a really big Anivia, really big Caitlyn, big Shen, a big Jarvan. They can take it late, and I think that's what they're trying to plan to do, because at the moment, that mid-game wombo combo is just so strong with Ori and Zac.
And Noxious Gaming actually trying to get another sneaky Baron here. Nice Splash Frost over the wall, zoning them out of this Baron pit, and they're not going to be able to complete it. It doesn't look like VGN want to do it, or force a fight. All they're doing is making Noxious Gaming waste their time, while they do try to set up for this Baron buff.
Yeah, well, they do have to do something. They can't just leave Baron to go if they don't want to fight or not. But here we go, they're trying to get a little sneaky initiate here, and Zac is going to jump in. They are going to miss over. Here comes the arrow, it's hitting Jarvan. I don't think that's the intended target. They don't want to go in on that. They are just going to back up and try to put as much damage on this tower if they can. If they can get this tower down without getting initiated on, it'll be really strong. They are going to manage to do so. There goes the tower. So they got another tier 2 tower. Jarvan's going to jump in. The tidal wave comes out to disengage. Keenan goes in, fighting the teams. Braxel goes down. He's in the rebirth mode. We see Shockwave come out though. A really strong Shockwave hitting Shen and J4. J4 and Shen running. The eggs up, so Nivea's back full health. They've got to be careful there. J4's running to Anivia. He wants protection. He will get away. Keenan's getting ace in the hole. He will survive. Braxel's up. Full health Amana now trying to stop this push. They'll be happy. Tower down. Rebirth down. 2 heroes killed. Really well done.
Really well done. I can't believe that Noxious Gaming actually managed to pull off that team fight, considering that they were quite low from Baron, and that VGN had pretty good vision control on them as well. They forced a team fight, and they have such a ridiculous team fight in composition that it went in their favor again. Shen and J4 tried to make a big play on the 3 carries of Noxious Gaming, but it didn't work out for them. They just didn't have enough damage to bring down those hard carries. It was really well
Keenan's
played.
playing really wise. Once J4 initiates on that back line, Keenan sneaks around and gets on VGN's back line himself and causes all sorts of trouble, forcing their ADC to back up, forcing their Anivia to be careful. That's what happened. The team then got split by the Keenan. At that point, the 2 smaller fights happened where Neoxys managed to dominate them both. Egg was forced out of Braxel, so he lost that form, had to back out, and then the others destroyed with their shockwave on the Shen and the Jarvan. Really well played in those 2 smaller fights instead of the one big 5v5.
Yeah, incredibly well played. We're now seeing a Dragon being picked up uncontested by Noxious Gaming, and they are pulling ahead in gold. 47k to 44k, so quite a substantial gold lead. It's not game-changing by any means necessary, but anything helps, and it might be enough to start Noxious Gaming snowball into this late game. But
yeah, and this is how Jasmine Tea Leaf has played the last time as well. I don't want to call him out in case it's not true, but he seems to lose the lane a little bit, but then make really wise decisions towards the mid and late game. His player positioning and in-game decisions are really smart, and that's what's happened in the last 2 team fights. This Keenan has just positioned itself so well that just really disrupt the team composition that they're up against. Now Zac's going to jump in on Zara. The stun isn't going to stop him mid-air, and he's just going to chase it down, try to put some damage on. The team's rotating around. Braxel is there. The flash is going to come out and the wall, just trying to stall. They don't want to lose anybody right now, and that's quite smart. At the same time, Shen's just pushing bot, getting the farm up, trying to get really large, getting that MR up. He's the big tank, so it's good that he's split pushing. He can do so too, because he's got his ultimate. It really helps out. And here we go, we're going to see Zac jump in, but the Zyra disengage is really strong, but followed up by Nami's tidal wave, which is ridiculous. J4's dropping in, but no one's there to back him up, and there's that Keenan splitting the fight up again, dropping his Zhonya's. Shen jumps in, does get the Keenan though. He is going to get stunned though, and here's the let's bounce. The shield just keeping Dust alive a bit longer. He's going to try to go down at the back so he can reincarnate if he needs to with that passive, but it looks like he's going to be safe anyway. Here's the ace in the hole, blocks by the Ashe, the AD carry helping out the support, showing how well they work that bot lane, looking after each other, and well done.
So that was a 1-0 in favor of VGN, and that was a really good fight for them considering how well that Noxious Gaming team fight for a 1-0 in their favor. I think that's a huge win in my opinion, and that was a very risky initiate by Jibbers. He had to go in and flash out and return back in once his cooldowns are up, but it ended up working well for them. So I'm very impressed with how that went. So So
yeah, he managed to get out, but you do see once again Keenan, those splitting up the fight and they were not unable to win. He gets right in between where the front and the back line is, ults up and just hits that Zhonya's and really splits the fight. The other team wasn't able to back him up this time, but it's really good playing. Keenan actually disrupting fights really badly, but once they work out how to play around that Keenan, they can really get these team fights cranking.
Most definitely. And a good comment coming up from the chat, the Orianna ult had been whiffed on the Zyra. So Oriol was not up for that fight, which is a big part of that team fighting composition, I guess. So
yeah, a shockwave on that Zac when he jumped in could have really rattled them. So that may have been why they shouldn't have fought at that point, that Oriol, but they only lost one, so it's not going to be too tragic.
Yeah, most definitely. Right, so the Baron dance is starting again. I wonder why NX wants this Baron so much, but it's definitely...
You wonder why everyone wants the Baron so much. Baron is the king.
I want to date with Mr. Nasher. That Baron buff is so good.
And we see Shen being Shen right now. Look at him, bot lane just heading down that tower. No one can deal with him. If the team gets in trouble, he can teleport there, and this is why Shen's so good, especially against Wombo combo teams. We're going to see Top get jumped on. It's Veraxel in trouble. Let's bounce. He's in the rebirth egg form, but he's going to go down here. He's going to take too much damage, so they have picked him. They'll be happy there. And Shen, in the meantime, has got that tier 2 tower, but maybe he needed to be concentrating more on that Anivia, who just got picked off. He may have just decided he didn't want to go in on there, but now we see Zyra just blowing up. Keenan's in there with his ult. Keenan might go down. He is going to Zhonya, though. It's going to save some time. Here comes that shockwave. Zyra's low. Zyra is going to try escape. No, Zyra's there, sorry, it's a Shen. Too hard to tell in this spastic battle. Everyone getting really low. J4's trying to get a kill. He is going to die here, though. And Orianna's going to sneak out on the lowest health. Jarvan is not going to be happy with that. Here comes the ace in the hole.
Nice
But
taunt.
Zac has a good idea. Jumps right in there. Taunt, though. Causing trouble, and Nami will be picked up.
That was well played by both teams. It was well played by NX to pick up that Anivia before Shen could react and use the Stand United. I'm so impressed with how VGN continued the fight, even though it was a 5v4, and brought it back to a 2-for-2.
Yeah, they knew they couldn't just stand there and do nothing. I'm not sure if this Shen should have come and tried to save the Anivia. Anivia will be upset she got picked there. However, they didn't lose the high ground. That tower is like one more hit from dead, and once they have that tower down, it's going to be a lot easier to break into the base. But Shen did pick up a tier 2, and you've got to be careful with the splits pushing Shen. It's a nightmare to Wombo combo teams, because he can just be anywhere and come to the fight. He didn't this time, but they do need to be careful, because they can't afford to lose too many more towers.
No, they cannot. Not indeed. And this is a 5-0-6 Zac. So there's a 500 gold bounty on his head. He is ridiculously tanky. Lock of the Iron Solari, he has a Bulwark completed and a Spirit of the Elder Golem. So he's sitting on 3000 HP and some really respectable resistances as well.
Yep, and because he's got all the team aura items, it has allowed Nami to go for that Crucible to try remove stuns and protect their key heroes even more. So that's really opened it up, and it's good for Nami to have farmed that. She does have 10 assists, which will have given her quite a bit of gold, so she'll be sitting quite happy.
Yeah, most definitely. I am saying that for the chat indeed. Alright, so Oracles clears the Baron pit. Baron is an open objective again. Shen is actually being collapsed on by Zac and Orianna, but I think he's going to get away from this one. Uses the taunt to get some distance, and he's going to walk away. So
yeah, they're
VGN
aware of that split push, and they don't want to let Shen keep harassing him. Shen's just going to recall here. They keep, knowing Neoxys, they're going to think about the Baron. They just seem to love it so much. Looking at it now, just making sure there's no wards in there, but they know the team's around. Surely they're not going to try another risky one. Hercule there just warding up. They know there's a Baron dance happening, but look at this. This is great, but Neoxys not going to see this coming. Here we go. Shockwave, it's just on Zyra, though, so need to be careful, but there's the Let's Bounce. He's dominating. It's Dust on that jungle. What an initiate, but it's just Zyra. I need to be careful. Nami's ult actually wasted there, not hitting anybody. But now they're going to try to put pressure on the 5-4. Look at this. They can just take that tower instantly with the backdoor. No worries. One hit. And now the Nexus is open. It's going to be risky if they try it. And Orianna got hit by the stun, but she's going to back up. And she's got shields to protect her. Here comes the jump in, though. Jarvan getting initiated on. Zac taking quite a bit of damage, though. Doesn't need to be careful. They are just going to go for the inhib. It's nearly down. They just need a few minutes. Keenan wants it. Keenan wants it. No, he doesn't. He's going to go for the kills. He stands on the trap, though. He's going to pop his Sonya's. And they need to just take this inhib, please. It's so low, but the team fight's going crazy. Zac's going for it. He's committing. He is going to get it. Now he goes into his passive. They're backing off now. They've got to be careful. Here's the arrow, just stunning Shen. I think he's just trying to save
500
time.
gold bounty is going to go to the Caitlyn. Well played. So that was a 3-for-1, but they also got an inhibitor. So I'm going to say that was probably worth it in the grander scheme of things. So VGN are going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. Taking up those 3 kills, getting that 500 gold bounty, and hopefully getting themselves enough gold to buy some nice items to bring them back in for the next team fight. They've also
Neoxys will be happy that they took the inhib. but I do think they'll agree they didn't probably go the best way around it. It wasn't a bad thing, they got the objective, but they probably would have liked to lost less. And if they lose the Baron here, it could be quite upsetting. So they're not going to give it to them easy. The ace the hole though, and Fraxel chasing up, they're going to get the shutdown on the Ashe. Brilliantly played there, and they're not going to expect that. Ashe can't stop the Baron, she just died. So they're going to get a Baron and Ashe kill. That's 2 shutdowns, and we could see the game switch here. The gold is now favoring VGN, and what a turnaround. They do got to be careful though. They are 1 inhib open, so they're going to be getting a lot of pressure from that top lane. But really well, the pick 3, and then the pick the Ashe, and then take the Baron. That's what they needed. And that's going to really help them get back into this game.
Most definitely. So, the 4-for-1 in favor of VGN. They lost the inhibitor and they picked up the Baron. Now, in the grander scheme of things, the inhibitor is going to hurt. It is going to be spawning super creeps, and those creeps are going to passively push top lane, and they're always going to have to worry about it. But do you feel like that was worth it for VGN to get those?
I would say it was worth it. The Baron, the Baron's gone, and the inhib can be respawned. The inhib can respawn. That tower was already going to be down anyway. They had lost the tower. It's just about the inhib, and it can respawn. However, they have removed the Baron, and if they didn't get the Baron, I think if they gave the Baron to Neoxys, it could have been game right there. So I think the Baron, just to even deny it from the enemy team, for them to pick that up is a really big steal. So I think they're going to be. I think they will be happy with that.
I completely agree with you. The Baron buff also offsets a little bit of the team fight imbalance that we've been seeing. Baron buff, of course, gives HP regen, mana regen, ability power, and attack damage. So that's going to help every single member of VGN's team, and hopefully that is enough for them to make these team fights a little bit more even, because we have been seeing a discrepancy or a disparity between these two teams in team fights, and that's all based around Noxious' team comp, which is a really based on hard initiates and really good team fights. So it'll be interesting to see the next team fight to see who pulls ahead.
I feel like though the later this game goes, I know Ashe has that arrow and she has the utility of giving some vision, but I feel like the later the game goes, the more Caitlyn is going to be the superior ADC at this point. She's picking up some massive items and becoming a real problem. She's 4-for-1 for 7 and really filling out her core, so I think she's going to be quite happy, and I feel like that could be a major problem the later this game goes.
I totally agree with you as well. Shen has now picked up a Warmogs on top of his Spirit Visage, on top of his Sunfire Cape. He's sitting on 4,000 HP with huge amounts of resistances. So not only does he do damage because he's got a Trinity Force, but he's also incredibly tanky. So he's fulfilling his role as a top laner as well as you could possibly hope. Jarvan's also finished his Bulwark, finished his Sunfire Cape, and finished his Spirit of the Ancient Golem. So VGN have an incredibly impressive tank line with 2 main tanks of Jarvan and Shen compared to the Noxious Gaming's tank line of Enix Dust on Zac. Do you feel like Enix is going to be able to tank as much damage, or do you think it doesn't really matter?
Question the tanking potential of Dust on that massive Zac. Zac is the only tank you need. He's the one-man wall. He doesn't mind if you have his Shen and the J4. He is the Zac. He's the flubber man, the mystery experiment. I think it's fine. He's a big enough wall. They got a bigger disengage as well with the Nami. It's still really well. Both teams can win this. I don't think the tanking issue is going to be that bad. I'm worried about the DPS output from Ashe later the game goes. Does worry me, but she is getting big. She can still do the damage. They do have that just crazy combo with Zac and Ori. Yeah, and that can still be really good. I still want to see them run this lineup though. I want to see them run it with a Twitch. I know Twitch was run last game. If we could see this Ori Jax combination, the Shockwave into the Twitch, oh, you can just wipe a team. I want to see that.
And it's going to be based around a really hard initiate, I feel. This next team fight is probably going to start from a very nice Ashe Arrow or an Elastic Slingshot. I don't feel like VGN are in a position right now where they want to use the Jarvan or the Shen to initiate a team fight without having incredible amounts of vision or catching someone out. So
yeah, the Oxys definitely has the advantage in the range they can initiate, just both with that arrow that doesn't have a range limit and that fling which has the most ridiculous gap close. They can just initiate from such a further distance than that Shen or that J4 can.
Yeah, you're completely right. So Jarvan, he can use his Demacian Standard into the Dragon Strike, into a Cataclysm to initiate. And he's been doing that with great effect actually. And Shen has been using his Stand United on top of the Jarvan. And as soon as Jarvan arrives, Shen arrives as well and uses his taunt, sometimes even a flash taunt, to try and lock up the Ashe, the Orianna, and potentially the Kennen as well. And they've been doing this most of the game, and it's been working out for them in spades, really. So they'll try and continue that that team fighting structure that they've been using so effectively.
In the meantime, they want to harass the Shen. They don't want to allow that split push, and they want to get that last tier 2 tower standing. They're just trying to pressure the map, and I think it's good. It's going to be a lot easier for them to take up this tier 2 tower, get a bit of global gold, get that map presence before they can break into that high ground. They do have that open inhib top they can be tempted for, but I don't think they want to make another massive sacrifice like they did last time in order to take it down.
Yeah, so 5 members of Noxious Gaming and 5 members of VGN. As I say that, Shen is recalled and is going to split push top. He does have the stand united, however. So it is a 5v4 temporarily before Shen arrives with that stand united. And it looks like Noxious Gaming are actually going to back away, and it doesn't look like they want to initiate onto the turret, which I think might be a wise decision. Baron buff has timed out though, so we're going to see Baron respawn in the next 1.5 to 2 minutes. And that is going to be a big objective for both teams to contest, really. So
yeah, we're definitely in a bit of a Heimer-dude situation here. Both teams just looking for a good initiation on each other and really want to try win this next big team fight. Can really mean a lot. It'll either be the really big start or the massive turnaround for VGN, or it could just be bad news when they lose those inhibs. So I think that's why we're seeing quite defensive plays from like both teams. They want to get rid of the Shen. They don't like the Shen split pushing them. They're really not. They just know that he could sneak something big, I think, because they're really focusing on trying to take him out first and stopping that split push.
Shen is being caught out here by so many members of the team. He's going to be trying to maybe look to use his stand united to get away. He's actually flashed, he got exhausted. Elastic Slingshot is coming in. All of VGN are pushing down. They might actually try and initiate on this engagement.
Yeah, they can't get too distracted by the Shen because they may be able to sneak this mid tower, but Dust is going to see it. He's going to use his tanky body to slow it down. Ash is going to pick up that kill, and here comes the initiate. It's massive. It's Jasmine Tea Leaf with that. Oh, Zonya's going to come down too. Jarvan's going to have to run here. He's going to get chased. I believe he will go down. He will. Oriana's going to pick up that kill, and Caitlyn and Nivea know they need to get out of here. They know their top inhib's open. They don't want to allow that to be backdoored, so they're quickly retreating to that. Zach's going to try chase with his fling. He's actually getting extremely low. Shield going to try and keep him up there. They're worried about that burn, and he's going to be alright. But he must have his passive up to be playing like that.
Yeah, so Shen did get caught out, and it looks like Noxious are just going to ride this creep wave right into the base. So Shen managed to delay as long as humanly possible. Pings are actually going down on the Baron now, so that could be what is picked up. They aren't going to walk past any wards,
the Baron.
There isn't ward coverage from Team VGN on Baron, so...
They most likely will assume when they don't see the team pushing anywhere, this is what they're doing, but they won't be able to stop this. I believe this will be a free Baron. It's going to be all gravy, nice and easy. They're just going to take this, no harassment. Everybody loves a free Baron, and there we go. So that's what's wrong. They shouldn't have got so many picked off. They've opted for the Baron over the inhibs. I think that's because last time when they lost the team fight, then lost the Baron, it really slowed their game down and really evened it out. I think they just want to deny that Baron from the enemy team really badly rather than taking that inhib, because it's just something you never want to give away.
Yeah. So, VGN have all respawned. There's a Guardian Angel on the Caitlyn, and that's a very good item to have. It's a very good item to have off cooldown as well. Caitlyn is also doing 1300 damage crits. She's sitting on 6 items. She is probably not going to trade those Berserker Greaves for anything else, so she has now finished her core build. So that's absolutely amazing for VGN. Conversely though, Ashe is sitting on 5 items, so a little bit of power and potential left on the Ashe there. She is sitting on a bit of gold, so she might buy something soon and complete that for herself. And she has. She's bought a Guardian Angel.
And what a pickup to get. Everybody loves GA. Really good at this point of the game. In order to bring yourself back up, we've got the natural GAs on Anivia and Zach. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see more heroes keep picking it up. They're going to give Anivia the blue. That's always a really good idea. You want that cooldown reduction and that mana pool just be so strong on that hero. And I think we're going to see Neoxys start rotating towards the top lane. They know that inhib is open, so that's probably their best option to fight. But breaking into that high ground is never an easy thing to do regardless. Shen is still split pushing bot though, so he'll be trying to get a little sneaky something out of there, but I think the pressure's too great. He will most likely have to back up before he can get anything himself. And we are going to see them start going for the next, just getting a few auto attacks. Zach's looking for initiation. He has the ball on, which is going to be intimidating. They might just want to intimidate them off so they can get the Nexus. They got inhib. They are going to get that for free. Not the Nexus, but Shen is going for the split push. He is choosing that, and he might even get this tower down. He's doing the damage. I believe he will. They can't recall in time, so they have got the inhib, but they will lose the tower. And Ace in the hole coming to stop the recall from the Keenan, so they're going to get an inhib out of that. That was an amazing K ult. Someone should have blocked it, because they are actually just going. They've lost the tower and an inhibitor. This is actually a win at this moment for VGN. And now it's in the fight. Dust is in trouble. He's going to go out into his passive. If they kill this, they could be in a really good situation. And what a move to do it. The ultimate from Anivia, definitely putting out the damage. J4 jumping in. They're going for this fight at the moment. He's going to have the Shin ult come down. They got the inhib, so there's no need for him to still be there. Caitlyn doing heaps of damage there. Keenan, that disengage coming out. Nami picking up the kill on J4. The fight is going crazy. Shin is just in there tanking everything. He will finally go down. Zach jumps in. Let's Bounce comes out. Braxton's going to flash out of there. Hercule will go down to that Ash. So we've got kills coming out all across the board. That's crazy, but they will be happy.
Spot turret. So that was well played by VGN, trying to turn that fight on its head after getting that inhibitor, but Noxious Gaming didn't want a piece of it. They did so much good work in that team fight and picked up 3 members of VGN. So they're going to be pretty happy with themselves.
But just looking at the objective game, they did trade an inhibitor for a tower and an inhibitor. So that was a really well played Shen. Shen's been playing really good this game, and it was actually a really good trade. They brought themselves back in. Their inhibitors open. They do get that final tower though at bot. So all the towers are down. Shen's going to have a bit of trouble if he wants to try to sneak out top because there is still a tier 2. But mid is open to be pushed next time. So you can keep trying to backdoor. It's really open. The Shen getting it inhibitors just going to really help them out. But Zach's jumping in and Caitlyn's in trouble. They're going to have the shockwave, but she does have a GA. They are just going to take that. But can they save her? She's in a really bad situation. The bubble comes straight out, shut down to Oriana. That's a pick they did not want to happen at this time. Caitlyn is a really big part of their team. And they might even just get straight mid inhib out of this. They are going to definitely take the tower. That's actually a really hurtful pick off. Caitlyn had done so well not to die this game, only dying once before that, and now she does unfortunately lose the GA and the def. Is mid tower. Unfortunate pick off, but really well played for them to find that. That Zac initiate, just so scary. Zac shockwave on the ADC. That's all they needed.
That was indeed. So Caitlyn and Anivia were trying to get a cheeky kill onto the Oriana. Didn't actually work out for them, and now we're seeing another team fight. Kennen comes in with that slicing Maelstrom, and Zyra does go down. Jarvan's Cataclysm isn't gonna kill the Kennen, and he does use a very tactical Zhonya's Hourglass. And this is looking very bad for VGN. They're 2 inhibs down, and NX are in their base doing pretty much whatever they want. And could we see the end of this 100% win spree of VGN, and will it go to the second game of the best of 3?
And I believe it looking like it is that way. Already taking a little bit of damage, but I feel like there's just too much pressure coming out. The Anivia is going to be really good at clearing the creeps though, so they should be able to stall themselves some time and may even force them back, but being 2 inhibs down is going to really hurt them. And the GA will be down for quite a while on the Caitlyn, so she is open to be picked out again. They are going to back out here because the whole team's up except for the Zyra. But the Caitlyn's up, and that's a load of damage they don't want to deal with behind those towers. They're happy with 2 inhibs, and they're just going to recall, maybe buy themselves something nice, and then carry on trying to win this game.
And I think that VGN have a very nice protect. However, with 2 inhibitors down for the next 4 or 5 minutes, they're going to be on the back foot. They're definitely vulnerable to the 3rd inhibitor being pushed down just because of super creep pressure. And it looks like Noxious Gaming are definitely in the driver's seat so far. And I'm wondering if VGN can do anything in their power to bring this back and to maybe farm up while their super creeps are riding into their base and do something with that bonus gold to change the face of this game, because Noxious Gaming have been team fighting so incredibly well. They've got a couple of very nice picks, and they're looking good to win this first game in the best of 3.
Yeah, I feel like against this lineup, Shen was still a really good pickup because he did give them that split push potential they need, and Shen's played a fantastic game. However, it hasn't been enough. I feel like they're going to be in a lot of trouble here. This is the fight they have to win. If they lose this, I'm fairly confident it's going to be a straight GG call because they have nothing else but this little bot, little inhib, and this little tower. It is full health.
It's a nice tower.
This is their pride and joy right now. This is the fort. This is what they're using. This is what they're banking on to keep them in the game. So they're really going to want to hold that up.
We're actually seeing a nearly 500 CS Caitlyn, by the way. That's nearly 10 CS per minute at the 52-minute mark. Caitlyn has 20,000 gold to her name. So she is a complete baller at the moment.
She's just sitting, having a fun time going to the bank. She's already 6 items, so she doesn't even really need that. She's sold her boots even and picked up that Zephyr, so she's feeling really, really big. but they need to use it. If she gets picked up again, it's too painful. Those items don't do anything. It Dust feeling really confident in how much he can tank here. The Nami disengage coming up. That's really strong. J-Force is going to jump right in there. He's going to get chomped out. He can't tank all that damage. Dust is doing a good job holding that tower. And here comes Ash. Going to start getting the slowdown, but she got tower aggro, so she's going to back out. She doesn't want to take any damage, and now she's just going to siege down that tower. And she's going to do so successfully. And Nivea is going to try hold her off, but there's too much distractions. That tower will go down. I believe she'll start taking a few hits at that next, the inhib as well. They do want to just take that. Top inhib's up, so they can look at heading towards that as well. But here we go. It's the initiate with the Shin. Shin jumps in. He's taking a lot of damage. Keenan's going straight for the Caitlyn at the back. The Blader King slowing him down. He's going to have to proc his Zonyas, but it is going to keep him alive. The shockwave misses everyone, but the egg is down now. Egg is out, but he is seeming to recall. Oriana's trying to do as much damage as he can. Actually, the egg looking really bad. Shutdown coming out. Oriana, great pick. Trying to get that for Axel. Axel's surviving in the end. So that was really well played by VGN. They are holding it off. The inhib only needed one more hit from that Caitlyn. Would have gone down.
And they actually have 2 inhibs up at the moment. So this could be the return of the VGN, return of the king. Can they win this
That's
game?
what they needed. They needed to really keep both those inhibs up, and it's really well they done. If they can get all 3 up, they're totally back in this game. For Axel's big, and he did really well there not to go down. In fact, they even got the Oriana kill because she committed so hard to try and kill him. So it's really well played and really good stall. I thought they were goners there. I didn't think they could do it, but they managed to just keep the inhibitor up. And now they got another chance. And Baron is back up now, so there's another objective in the game.
Yep, there's 2 members of Noxious Gaming dead at the moment. They've got 30 seconds left on the Oriana, 20 on the cannon. Can they pick up this Baron? I think they can, and it looks like both teams are creeping towards it. And Nivea has stayed in the base. I think that's to protect against backdoor. I think that's to protect against anything possibly happening there. So this Baron has been focused. Both Oriana and Kennen haven't respawned yet. So it could be a potential 4v3 in favor of VGN. And this is exactly what they need. They do need this Baron.
Yeah, this Baron is what they need exactly. They got the Guardian plants up there saying, no one come, this is our Baron. They are going to pick it up. So this is a really back and forward game. Look at it, exact same gold from both teams, 83.4k. 55 minutes in. You don't get much closer than that. All 3 inhibs are up now. So every single team. Yep, so every team has all their inhibs. There's no towers, but there's inhibs, and that's what they need. They got their base towers through the final 2. So they're looking actually quite strong for the turnaround.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how Noxious or how VGN will progress from this point onwards. I feel like those 3 open inhibitors are so vulnerable to backdoors. There's so much damage coming out from all the members of Noxious Gaming that they could just creep in there with an Oracles and just backdoor the 3 inhibitors in no time at all. So I think we're going to see a lot of defensive wards coming out from VGN. At the moment, they have pretty good ward coverage around their side of the jungle. So I think if they do see Noxious Gaming trying to sneak in, they will be able to respond and do something about it.
Yeah, this is crazy close. This is what's been so good about this tournament. So many of our games have been really close. There's been so many good teams coming out of New Zealand and Australia at the moment. Really evenly matched as well. These top teams, it feels like anyone can win it. And this game has just proven it. Even though it felt like it was almost over at one point, VGN are crawling their way back into this game, keeping on fighting, showing they got the fighting spirit. They know it's a best of 3, but they're not just going to like surrender. They're not going to give this game up easy. They want to win this one, and they still can. It's fully open. And it's just crazy close. The gold is so close.
Here, it could be a very bad thing for VGN. There is a Baron buff, there is a huge death timer. I wonder if he can get away.
He's going to try and teleport away. The shockwave came out earlier, but look, they had so much on him. The arrow followed up too. He tried everything he could, but he did get picked. And they've been trying to do that for a while. They're constantly chasing down that Shin whenever he's split pushing. And this is what they want. Now he can't split push, he can't teleport in, and they can force the 5v4 if they want to.
And wow. Well played. A minute on the death timer of this Shen. He definitely doesn't have that point in good hands, the mastery that lowers your death timer. And this is definitely going to be a forced 4v5 in favor of Noxious Gaming. Can VGN hold on with only 4 members? Do you have faith, Greg? Do you have faith to People's Whisper in VGN's 4v5?
I do have faith. I always have a faith in a 4v5. It would be nice if they had a little Hein to put up some turrets and really defend it up. But no, I definitely have faith in these 4 heroes they've chosen. They can do it. This Veraxel is massive, so he can really hold it off. That ult's big, but they're just going to go for the inhibs. So I think that's really smart. You too often see teams ignore the inhibs, go for the big fights, lose the fights, and not take the inhibs. Just going for the inhibs and backing out. They just get the reward without the team fight, just skipping the work, and I think it's really strong and a really smart decision to make at this point.
So the first inhibitor has gone down. I don't know why they aren't pressuring into the second inhib, but Shen has respawned. He does have home guard boots. That is one speedy Shen that is rejoining his team. Welcome back to he. I think this is Issa as well. And this is, again, a 5v5. And that inhibitor has 5 minutes on its respawn, so...
Yeah, Shen getting picked off did result in one inhib, but that's alright. At least they didn't lose the 5v4, and they'll be happy with just one. They can definitely protect that one lane and stall it out. They're big enough. Super creeps aren't going to hurt them too much. Caitlyn can just chomp through them. So right now, it's still just all about the big engage and the big fights.
And do you feel like that Noxious Gaming's team fight does drop off in the very, very late stages of the game that we are reaching? Or do you feel like it only gets better as they complete those 6-item core builds? What's your opinion on how items affect team fighting AoE?
You just know it though. You know I'm not an Ashe fan. Straight up, I love the hero, but I just feel like at this point the Caitlyn is pulling away in the damage. That's just how I feel. At the same time though, Orianna's just so big. Zach, Keenan as well. I don't think they fall away too late. I feel like both teams can go late. They got the wombo, and at any point they rock the perfect shockwave. It can win the team fight. So I don't think necessarily there's a massive late game advantage either way, but I do feel like it might be slightly towards VGN. The big thing about VGN is they just don't have those base towers. They're always got to be careful of those back doors and those sneaky inhib pushes.
Yeah. So VGN playing very defensive. They have some wards outside their base. They're making sure that they know where Noxious are coming from. Noxious have aggressively warded up VGN's jungle. And Shen is going around with his oracles and clearing the most... the wards that are in closest proximity, really. So
yeah, Oracle's definitely. I wonder if it's going to stay the way they've changed it, because it's so popular and so many heroes now. It's so worth picking up. And we're going to see Zach go for the big initiate, and it's Shen being focused again. They're not afraid to fight the tank, it seems. But those Zyra plants are just being a nuisance while Kate's fighting over the wall. So they do a little bit of damage, just taking a bit of health. But he's a Zach. He really doesn't mind that much. And Shen just still tanking, but he's getting damage. He isn't going to hit that taunt. And now comes the tidal wave. They're going to initiate on this for sure. Here comes the Let's Bounce. This could be really strong. Kaden gets picked out really quickly before he can Sonya. So that's really strong for
from the
VGN.
1200 damage crit, and Kennan's like, oh, I forgot to use my Zonyas. My life didn't extend that long. So that
I don't think he expected to take that much damage that quickly, and unfortunately that was a really big loss for them losing their Keenan.
That was indeed. He did use his ult, however, so not as bad.
Now we're going to see the fight still though. Shockwave not hitting anything, and Zach having to run out of there. Ashe is still good help with the GA up, but it's Orianna that's in trouble. Orianna's got a GA, but she's in a bad position. She might die here. She's going to need something good to get her out. No, she's going to go straight down. She does the damage she can first, but they end up losing 2 and not taking an inhibitor at all. Really good base defense by VGN. Keenan just taking too much damage from that Caitlyn. Wasn't expecting it, couldn't get the Zonyas off in time.
No, this Caitlyn is definitely doing too much damage from normal champions to deal with. She's critting 1300 on creeps and a little bit less than that on heroes. She has sold her boots for that Zephyr. She sold her static shiv for the Phantom Dancer as she needs the move speed. And she's looking like a very, very ridiculously farmed Caitlyn.
Yeah, no one likes a late game Caitlyn unless it's on your team. Such a scary hero with so much damage output. So they've got to be careful. They've got to be careful with those crits, because if you're going to have something like a Zonya's, you've got a time, you've got to be prepared, and that just rocked him. I didn't expect him to take that much damage, so I can't say much myself, but he needs to be careful. He now knows that can happen to him, and I think Keenan will be a bit more wiser and more careful now in the next few fights.
Yeah, maybe he'll preemptive Zonyas when he feels that that damage is going to come down. Because he's only got, let me double check, 2,600 HP, and that's enough for Caitlyn to 2 or 3 hit at this point in the game. So, VGN's still aggressively pushing. However, Orianna and Nami have just respawned. They've both got home guard boots, and they're both going to be rejoining the fight so quickly. Blue buff is up, so is Baron, and it looks like the teams might be fighting over this Baron buff as their next big team fight. They are setting up in a bush. They know that they don't have wards, and Zach is going to face check 5 people. Taking so
Zach's taking a whole lot of damage. The disengage is going to come from Nami, but Zach's in his passive form. He most likely will go down, you'd imagine, but he doesn't seem to be. He does now. Finally goes down. Jarvan's low, but they might just disengage here and enjoy the 4-for-1. Jarvan's going to be careful to get picked out by the Xenon, but the team's there to back him up, so they can't really jump in on this. And Nivea just pushing. They can just go for the push. Jarvan just seems to go back. The other 4 still seem keen to push this board. They want to take an even, at least open up the towers, bring this game out more even. They've done so well at stalling out. The ace in the hole comes out, doing quite a bit of damage to the Ashe, but she's just going to get that healed up by Army, so it's not going to be too effective.
And this is a 5v4 in favor of VGN. Jarvan did recall, He did get that home guard boost, so he's full. As soon as he arrived in the fountain, he was full HP, and he's coming back to join the fight. So there's 35 seconds on this Zack's death timer, and I think VGN are going to use this window to take N objectives. So it could be a Baron, it could be a turret, but they're definitely looking to do something while they have this time. And it is the Baron being started, and it doesn't look like Noxious Gaming are looking to contest this at all.
Yeah, it's going to be another free Baron. Baron's been killed quite a few times this game, the poor little demon giant, whatever he is, monstrous worm, and it is going to go to VGN. That's going to give them a really big advantage. VGN really seem to pull this away late game, but their base is still open. They want to push and get inside the other base. Once they can do that, the game could be theirs. This is a really epic turnaround, and I'm really surprised they've taken it this late. I'm really impressed, and I hope they can even do it. This is crazy. I believed in the 4v5. Now's the 5v5. They can definitely do it. 63-minute game. It's gonna be probably the longest game of this tournament so far. I don't think we've had a longer game.
No, we have not. And this is a best of 3 as well. So these teams will take a 5-minute break after this game, and then we'll get back into it and try close the series out. But so well played by both teams so far. They're really showing off how they play the mid games, how they play the late games.
And have you noticed the spawn mail on Orianna, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Going all in.
Oh my
Spawn
god.
mail Orianna, getting out that armor, putting in some damage and trying to make herself look less attractive to be focused by that Caitlyn. Really funny pickup. And here comes what? Anivia so good at being a turtle hero, so hard to push on this high ground with that ultimate right there in the funnel spot, making them forced to take the damage. They are going to back out there. They know they can't push up through all that damage on that Anivia, so that's a really good stalling tactic on that Glacial Storm.
Yep, you're completely correct. And I feel like the Shen should start split pushing another lane now. He does not need to be with his team while that Stand United is up. I want 4 people to go top for VGN and 1 person to go bot, the Shen. And I think that's the only way that they're going to be able to break through this this fantastic turtle that Noxious Gaming has got going on.
Yeah, they have a very strong turtle, and the only way they managed to break through that bot tower was because it was a split push by Shen that was unprotected. But if all 5 heroes are standing in the base, it is actually such a hard team to push up into that high ground with. So it's really strong on the turtle, so they can be prepared for that, and that's what VGN just saw. They know that they can't lose, but they can't win either, so they're stalemated at the moment.
Yeah,
and it's going to be until a team makes a big mistake to throw.
So Anivia going to pick up her blue buff now. She managed to get that in 1 combo. Her damage is kind of ridiculous at the moment, sitting on 813 ability power. Wow. So Baron is up as Dragon is up as an objective, but that amount of gold doesn't change anything anymore. VGN
you wonder if they even need it.
100,000 gold. That's the most
Caitlyn's sitting with just 4k in the bank. She's ready for retirement with the amount of money she's got just sitting there. It is crazy. They don't need more money. They're all item out. Zara can get some money, I guess. Zara can still get items. There's a 1-room slot for J4, but they're nearly just all 6th item out in this crazy late game.
Yeah, alright. So Shen is split pushing it into this bottom lane. There isn't a tower, so he can pretty much go in and start whacking that inhibitor. He is so tanky as well. I'm not sure Orianna can kill him by himself. Or if he
and this is definitely what they want to do. They don't want to come in as a 5. They want to split because just that 5v5 turtle coming out of Noxious is way too strong. But if Shen can split them up, if he can just remove some of those core heroes, they can break through.
Yeah, they can indeed. So VGN still have a little bit left on their Baron buff, about 30 seconds roughly before that times out, and they want to do something before that happens. The Baron buff is such a big advantage in terms of being able to siege with the extra regen that it gives you. So I'll be interested to see if they back off if this Baron buff decays, or if
they are here. I think they're just going to want to shut this tower. It's really low. If Caitlyn can just get a few more hits on it, it will go down, but they are just going to back off, so they're not going to try to break it down. Shen's just still causing trouble bot, so Ori isn't there in the fight. But they are just seeming to be keen to disengage. They don't want to fight here. Zara was recalling. She wants to go back. So it seems like they have something else planned.
And Jarvan actually took a couple of crits there from the Ashe and had to back up. So that's very understandable. He doesn't have a GA or anything like that. And you don't want to be low HP when you're sieging a turret, because that could be a very ugly team fight, because the Jarvan would get effectively just blown up. So this best of 3 continues. We're in our first game, Oceanic Gaming's Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle. So these teams are playing for thousands of dollars in prizes, including the Triumphant Rise skin. It's exclusive. You can only get it if you're in a Riot-sponsored tournament, and you can only get it if you come first place. So it's a big skin for these guys to be fighting over.
And just recently, Dota 2 had its longest ever competitive game, and it went for 89 minutes. I wonder if we're going to see something similar here, because we're already at 68 minutes, sorry. It's been over an hour-long game. And it's going to be interesting. You got to wonder how much practice do these teams have at really late game games? How often do you find yourself in a position where you're this late? For some of them, it could be quite a new experience of how to play these 5v5s, and it's going to be interesting because just one big error from one of the heroes could absolutely throw the game at this point. But we see GA's getting picked up on everyone. Look, three oracles. Oracle's such a popular item, and they just have the money to burn. There's no need not to have oracles at the moment. So we're just seeing it all get picked up by all the heroes who are fully items out.
So that is 100k gold on both teams. So we're seeing 6 item core from pretty much every single champion. And that's a new thing. That's a new dynamic in team fights. When everyone is so tanky or does so much damage based on the fact that they have that many items, it's a very new experience, and you are completely correct. How many people are normally in games where there's 204,000 gold across both teams? It's absolutely huge.
Yeah, these will all be experienced veteran players, so I'm sure they've all had late games, but you just never know. Fives is always a different dynamic, so this will be stressful for them, and it will really test how long they can keep their cool and how long they can keep working together as a team. Focus is really important at times like this, and we're going to see it. These are the top teams, though, from NZ and Oz, so they're ready for it. They're ready to prove that they're not going to do the late game throws. They can take it late. They're all confident in their skills, and this is what's making it such a close and intense game. They both want this. They know it's a best of 3, but both teams want to be winning this on the 1-0 advantage into that second game.
Yeah, so we're seeing Noxious Gaming pushing up into VGN's inhibitor again. So I wonder if they can successfully siege this, or are they going to be deflected by the powers of VGN. So all the champions are getting so strong now. I feel like if they get 10 seconds even to start sieging this inhibitor, it will just disappear. The Ashe is doing so much damage, the Kennen and the Orianna are doing so much damage, even with just auto attacks. They just need a small window of opportunity to get some damage onto this and it will just go away.
Yeah, and the teams definitely aren't afraid to just sneak out the inhibitor without even worrying about the team fight. But an Icefall there getting dust stuck. He's going to have to run the long way around, taking a bit of damage, but he's a massive Zac. He isn't too worried.
Yeah, so the inhibitor is sitting on 200 HP. So they're going to be taking a little bit of time to get rid of it, but VGN defending so well, just using the oracles to clean up all the wards. It doesn't look like Noxious actually want to initiate on this. Baron just respawned as well, which could be the reason why. They might be warding up and starting another Baron dance. There's also a huge wave of creeps for VGN that are pushing in to Noxious Gaming's base, and they might want to go clean that up, because it could do some serious damage to this turret, and eventually even maybe kill it.
But as the Zac jumps straight in, he's going to let bounce up. Zara's going to be in trouble here. She's going to go straight up. We're going to see Massive initiate. J4 jumping straight in on the Orianna. She's going to use her Zhonya's though to stay alive. Zoa's Keenan. They're going to turn around here. Ori's in a good position. She's got a big shield. Keenan surviving, not being killed by that snow. Getting the double kill. That bounce is going to go up the bubble, taking out the Shen. Shen's going to run for his life. They're low. They know they've got to back out here. That fight did not go the way they want. The Zhonya's being played really well this time, really keeping their core heroes alive and wasting a lot of their focus. Zhonya's really actually is a strong game item at this late game, and that's really what's helped them in that fight. They both got their Zhonya's off. So the two heroes being focused, Keenan, who was splitting up the fight, and Ori, who they had dived in to get, both Zhonyaing, and then letting their teams set up to turn that fight around. So that was really strong play, and now they're going to get rewarded. They're going to get 2 inhibitors here, I believe. They're going to try to scare them off, but it isn't going to happen. They know they can get it, especially with that damage coming up.
And they're rotating towards the 3rd inhibitor as well, and it could be all 3 inhibitors going to go down. There's still 20 seconds on the Zyra, 30 seconds on this Jarvan, and it looks like they're going to get this as well. Ashe is getting some nice damage onto it. Zac jumps in, just trying to scare them off their protective positioning, so they do pick that up.
That's strong. That's all the inhibs down.
Well played by Noxious Gaming. That is all inhibs down.
We've seen VGN been down before. They can definitely still win it. They can still stall. It is such a close game. They're struggling to kill their heroes. They're able to just push and get these objectives, but they can't actually just wipe the team. So it's going to be interesting if that's what they're going to have to do, whittle out these towers, or if they're actually going to have to get the fight. But finally we see Baron go the other way. They're going to try sneak it out this time. They don't want to give it back to VGN, who's had the last 2 Barons for free, I believe. But Zara, can we see some amazing support play? Will she get the amazing steal? She's going to put the plants up. Will it be enough? No, I didn't believe it would be.
I had faith.
Would have loved to have seen it though. I was hoping it would have been awesome to see a plant steal. We're not going to see that. They're just going to go off. They're happy with the Baron. 3 inhibs is suddenly looking a lot better for them, and that's the kind of play they needed to have made.
It is indeed. So Baron buff has gone in favor of Noxious Gaming. They had all 5 up, so all 5 members do get that Baron buff. They are now exalted with Baron Nasher, as it were. Alright, so now that the Baron buff is up, is up and Baron is gone as an objective, it is going to be the Nexus turrets and the Nexus itself. I wonder if
and do you think they're just going to try siege them down like they have been doing with the inhibitors? Just try and get that damage when they can, forcing the other team back and just try to take out the towers? Or do you think they're going to try find the 5v5 fight, try win the wombo and then just end the game?
I think they will do that indeed. With this Baron buff advantage, with how tanky this Zac is, they might be looking for the end game fight. They might start with an Ash Arrow or a Zac initiate and just go for the win, as it were. So right now there are only 3 members of NX that are closing into the VGM base. Nice defend from this Anivia. Her Arctic Storm just does so much damage, is able to push off a lot of the creeps quite effectively. And all 5 members of
she is sitting at 812 AP, so she's going to be fairly happy with that, and she's going to be extremely effective at clearing these creeps. That the Glacial Shroud, that is not what I think it's called, the Glacial Storm. And here comes that Let's Bout, really putting people up, along with the Nami ult, really doing the damage. Shen's going to go down quick, and Jibbers, there he goes. Keenan is going to go in return though, kill going to Zara, but they're down 2, and it's just for Keenan. They're going to siege down the towers here. I believe we're going to see GG. Oriana's just going straight for the Nexus, and here comes the Ash. That's definitely going to go down. They can't stop that damage here, and that's the game. 74 minutes. Absolute epic game. Look at the gold. 100 difference at the end there. 110.8 to 110.9, and there's 3 tower difference. So with the towers, actually, VGN ended 100 gold up, still losing the game. But what a crazy game. So much gold so late. And it looked like they could almost turn it. They stalled that game up like an extra 30, 40 minutes after losing their first inhibitor. But unfortunately, they weren't able to hold the stall. And the Aussies were able to take the game 1 of this best of 3.
And they do take that one away. And that was so fantastically played by both teams. We're getting into our second game of the best of 3. And there's so much to talk about in terms of what these guys are going to do for picks and bans, now that they've seen the strengths of NX and the strengths of VGN. There are some very, very targeted bans that I feel are going to come out based on what they just saw. And these teams do have this game, now that they've understood the strengths and weaknesses of one another, if they'll decide to do something different when it comes to this game. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I will be really surprised if we see either Oriana or Zac lefts open again. That combination is too strong, and if they had been watching the previous games from the Aussies, they wouldn't have left it open. Maybe they felt confident they could play around it, but I think in this game too, we definitely won't see that combination picked up. The moment you see Zac first pick, you know where they were going with it. They definitely wanted the Oriana as well. That combination is just far too strong. I think they'll be tilted towards banning out the Oriana, because even without Zac, there are still other options they like to use, like their Repel from the Elise and the other heroes that can jump in there. But I do believe one of those 2 heroes would definitely be target bans for this game too.
Yeah, most definitely. So we're going to go on a small